Hello, friends. We have a lot of voices talking to us right now.
Greetings, men. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted in the earth.
Worship, a show of admiration, reverence to a deity. That's how Webster defines the word worship.
So this week we were prompted on how do you worship? What are the different kinds of worship that you find yourself doing on a daily basis or weekly basis? What are the ones that you find you relate with the most? Is it dancing? Is it music? Is it, being together? Is it fellowship? What is something that you find yourself doing when God calls you to worship?
As we look at different ways that we worship in the past few months, they've been a little different. Normally we think of worship as, I'm going to church and they're going to have music and, we'll be there for an hour and a half.
For me, my worship goes back to the roots, the things that got me where I am at today, the things that my faith is built on. My visitation with old songs back when I was a child growing up, going to reading through books that I read when I was first saved and first trying to navigate what is this Christian walk, what it's supposed to look like.
I think God looks at things a little bit different. I think He screams to us each day, just gives us different ways that we can worship Him.
So that's what we are talking about today. So I feel like my kind of worship is prayer. Prayerful worship is where I really see myself having the most connection and communication with God.
I think a lot of that stems with the start of Psalm 46:10. Be still. When we're kids, we go lie out in the backyard and we look up at the clouds and we imagine all the different things that we're seeing in there. And God tells us to come and be like children coming before Him. I think if we take the time to go be still, to go look at the wonder that He presents to us every day that's evident in nature. We've got these beautiful mountains that you can look up into. The other day I took a little trip just to get away from here and kind of wanted to be still. Sometimes when you get to desolate places or places that appear desolate, there's so much vibrancy in life that's there if we just take the time to be still.
But I really see myself having the biggest connection is when I'm alone and able to really think about it and process all of the little details that I can and really, get deep into what God is asking me and talking to me about or what I'm asking Him. So this is something that I really had to think about. So that's why I'm on a walk right now. And I see myself going on walks a lot. And while I am going on walks, not even thinking about praying or anything like that, God will just be like, hey, what's up?
But also during this time of worship, I've had an opportunity to listen to others, other ministers from different churches around this country. I've also reached out to other brothers and sisters from around this country to get their sense of what is worship and how they're worshiping. So the cliche would be to worship with God with all my heart, with all my soul. That's the cliche thing to say. We know that what He asked us to do, but are we doing that?
In fact, I was leery to even send a video this week, just with how many voices you have trying to give you hope or convince you of something. I went to the Lord, I prayed and spent time there and also spent time in His Word and came away from that just feeling like there is nothing that anyone is going to say that is going to ever touch what's really going on in the world at this time. It's pretty unprecedented. I think it is unprecedented for most of us on the planet. Certainly for teenagers that are questioning what's going on, and even people that are in their 80s, 90s, just going, what in the world is going on?
Let me give you an example. When I was up there, I'm looking at rocks. Guys, I'm talking about big, giant rocks, boulders, things like that. If you look at the intricacy and the patterns and the way that things are together, it's almost like God has made a cake, like there's a layer of frosting going through this one one area, and then the other layers of the cake are there, and it's just, there's beauty presenting us there. You can pick up a leaf or a flower, turn it over, look at the intricacy of that. Look at the ants crawling around outside, or maybe in your house, as the case may be, or observe a spider. I mean, it's amazing the things that God gives us to observe and to worship Him, to look at it and go, oh, God, you made this.
I noticed subconsciously, not even knowing it, that is how He was reaching me and talking to me without even thinking about it. So maybe some of you have worshiped in the past, not even knowing it. So you serve, you can do serving worship. So you're helping somebody out, or you're doing artistic worship. So you're like, writing music or painting or whatever. So there's all these different forms of worship that I really never knew about, or kind of knew about, but never thought of as like worship, because most people think of it as like, oh, we have to go to the church and sing along.
So I challenge myself, and once again, I love this, because I look at what was said as what I do, Psalms 139 or Isaiah 6 and 8, because in that, what I did was, there is a question that God asked. Isaiah responds by saying, Lord, if you need someone, send me. And so my time of worship now is a response to that. So if the Lord needs someone, send me.
What I felt led to say today was to go silent before the Lord and just seek what He wants to tell you in this time. Even me saying that, it sounds cliche, go seek the Lord. But it isn't, and it's the place and it's the voice that we need to hear. We don't need to have sides telling us which side and giving them qualifications through other people and other pastors and other commentators, other authors, more opinions of why you're wrong or why you're right. The only place you're going to find peace, I believe, is in the Lord.
Worship is joyful. It should be joyful. Doesn't mean that it's not serious, doesn't mean that it doesn't have impact in your life, but, hold on. Doesn't mean that it doesn't have impact in your life, but it's a way of communicating with God in a more spiritual way.
How did you do that? We have chances every day to worship Him just by acknowledging His creativity, His glory, His presence. So I would encourage you over this next week to ask God to reveal to you ways that you can worship Him more.
It's a feeling that you get into that you're like, wow, this is impactful. This is really hitting my heart hard. And that's the areas where God can move in you, or you might not even know it that's going on right now. So really push yourself to get to that place of worship.
His word. And as you open that and you say, Lord, speak to me. Speak to me. I am yours, and you bought me with a price. Your son died for me, and this sin that is rampant through the world right now, and really always has been. I need help and I need answers, and only God's going to give that. I opened the word and I came upon Psalms 50, and I'm not going to read it to you. I'm going to just read the first Psalms 51, and that is, the mighty one, God, the Lord, speaks and summons the earth from the rising of the sun to where it sets.
Really, it's a one-on-one relationship, and like with any relationship, it's uniquely unique with who you are and God. So it's not going to be the same with everybody, and there's no perfect worship, right? Like everyone's going to have a different way that they connect, and a different place where they feel like they can connect. So it doesn't mean that because you have a different or less popular one doesn't mean that you're not worshiping. All right, I wanted that to be said, because I find that is an area that can be kind of like, hey, you're not really worshiping if you're just praying by yourself. I don't know. I think you are.
So that's my way of worshiping. That's my way of giving honor to what has been given to me by serving others in anything, in any way that I can. Happy Father's Day, brothers. Hope all things are well. Take care.
And it goes on. I would encourage you to read the entirety of Psalm 50. and see what it says to you, or find other places. But go before the Lord, quiet before Him. Shut out everything else, and just hear how He speaks to us during this time. He wants to do that. He does that so well. That is His purpose, is to have a relationship with you and with me and with this world. What can I say? I pray that the Lord will speak to you through this time in a brand new way. Love you. Blessings, coverings of God over you. Bye.
Take time away from the iPhone or the computer or the TV or whatever it is. Just take time to be still. Be with God. Be observant. Be aware and be open to the beautiful things that He puts in front of us every day, to just be able to go, wow, God, you are awesome. Men, have a great week. We look forward to seeing you soon.
I feel like this is a good question to ask yourselves, to really challenge yourself to find that. It is something that I've been doing right now. And this question, although it seems simple, actually comes with a lot of depth. Comment below, tell us what is your favorite form of worship and how you worship. And share this with your friends and family. And we're also on Instagram, and email us. Yeah. Bye.
Gentlemen, this is hopefully some encouraging news to bring you or help you through the perfect storm which we all have been experiencing with the COVID-19, the demonstrations, the half-baked news.
Greetings, men. Hope you're doing well. This past 2 weeks has been, well, kind of there's no words to explain what's going on.
Brothers,